Hello, hello. If this is not your first video, welcome back. If it is your first video with me, then nice to meet you. Anyway, I'm Kurt. I own Inspection Over Coffee. I run a local franchise of one of my franchises in Phoenix, but I also own the parent company and I teach inspectors how to have successful inspection companies. So what I wanted to talk about was top 10 things you need to look out for in a franchise. So obviously, when I created this franchise model, the idea was to take all the systems that we had used to develop a seven-figure business and basically, you got to sell it, but create a model where people could copy that and have success on their own. The reality is that something like 52% of people who get their inspector license don't get the inspection. I don't have an inspection company 2 years later. They're not in that business. And why is that? People think you get a license, it's permission to print money. It's not. There's a whole business around that needs to be developed. Whether you're a financial advisor, a CPA, a realtor, when you provide a service, providing of the service is only a small part of the business. So what I like to say is that everything what we do comes in after you get the license. You get the license, your license, you're performant, your state says you have to be. Okay. So if you're considering doing it yourself versus having a franchise, what should you look out for in a franchise? The first thing you need to look out for is basically the limitation that doesn't allow you to grow your business. And what is that? That's your territory. Now, I have a little bit different take on territories because I live in a world of abundance, not in a world of scarcity. I think that when you provide a service where, let's just say you're a realtor that I work with and you love my inspections that we provide, and you call me and you're like, well, Kurt, I got one way up north, it's 90 minutes north. How silly would it be if, because I'm part of a franchise model, I had to say, oh, I can't drive there because I need to give that to Joe, who you've never met before, and you're gonna work with Joe and his team because he covers that area. That's silly. And then the second part of it is I've had partnerships before and we just have different personality types, and that's okay. So if I go speak to a group of 30 people and I have you as my partner, some people are gonna say, oh, well, actually, man, I really liked Kurt. Or they might go, dude, Kurt is a lot and he was too much for me. I would never work with him. But they might gravitate towards you and your personality is a little bit different than mine. And they might go, I don't like how that person handled himself. Or they might say, man, I really like that person. So even we can be working together, 50-50 partners, and go into a room and there's gonna be people that like me more and there's gonna be people that like you more. And guess what? It's totally fine. In your particular territory, there's probably thousands of inspections every single month. And really all you wanna hope to get to is 10% of those. So in a place like Phoenix, again, while I record this, it's still COVID and the market's crazy. But normally there's 6,000 to 9,000 inspections houses under contract in the whole Phoenix area every single month. So if I had a company that had 10% of that, 600 to 900 inspections per month at an average of say $500 an inspection. I mean, there's a 300,000 to what's the math on that? 450,000 a month company. Okay, so trust me when I tell you, there's plenty to go around. So the way we do territories is it's more like a license. So in a particular area with a certain amount of realtors, a certain amount of houses sold every month, we're basically going to put enough licenses in that area. Doesn't really matter where they're located. It's not based on zip code or any of that stuff. The hope is they all can grow together to get to 10% market share. So when you're listening to this, just think, if you're like, well, if there's two others in kind of not too far from me, again, it's all based on us getting to 10%. So even if the three of you in your city got to 10%, you're fine. There's still 90% of the market share left to go. So don't let that freak you out. Now, I made a list. Okay, bad training. When I say bad training, most home inspection franchises, they want to teach you how the water heater works and how the HVAC works and how, Ohm's law. I can tell you I've done thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of inspections. I have never once had to use Ohm's law at the inspection. What you need to learn is how to go to a house and how to do an inspection, how to get it done. You need a template that's already written. You shouldn't be writing templates. You shouldn't be going to a house and writing anything. It's a house. Every defect that could come up should have already been thought of. That's what we do. We go, so don't go with a franchise company where basically they just do the first 3 weeks of training and then they make you some business cards and you're like, good luck. What are you paying for? That's crazy, right? Okay, third, what I call inadequate training, right? Here's what all the big inspection companies do that we don't do. They go, you want to learn about mold? Go pay for a mold certification. You want to learn about air quality? Go talk to the people at the lab. You want to learn about radon? Go get radon certified. You want to learn about social media? Figure that out on your own. You want to have some sales training and learn how to go make the phone ring? Well, go figure that out. Go to Tony Robbins. Go wherever you go to get sales training. Not with us. Our whole training program actually covers all of that stuff. It's a complete business in a box. It's emails that are already pre-written for your marketing purposes. It's how to use LinkedIn, Instagram, Google, how to rank on Google My Business, how to get business citations. Like all of that is part of our training. Again, we're not here to do it for you, but we have all of the resources for you to learn how to do it and be successful yourself. Number 4, not having an edge in marketing. I'm going to tell you right now, and again, this might sound weird coming from someone like me who's trying to teach people how to start inspection businesses. There's already plenty of fucking home inspectors, okay? I'm serious. I'm sorry to curse. There's plenty. They're on every corner. Every middle-aged guy that didn't want to go Uber wanted to start a home inspection company, figured if he could do 2 or 3 extra jobs a week, he'd make an extra $600, $800, $900 a week, and that would totally change his lifestyle. We do businesses. We do the home inspection business, okay? We're not looking for $900 a week. We're looking for $9,000 a month and $19,000 a month and $90,000 a month. We're trying to grow big businesses. So number 4 is no marketing edge. And what I mean by that is go get your home inspector license and then go to a realtor and go, hi, I'm an inspector. Please work with me. And do that over and over and over again and see how long it takes to grow your business. If there's nothing compelling about your message about why they should work with you, trust me when I tell you they already know 7 inspectors. Now, they might not have 7 that they trust. They might go to the realtor friend, and it's just all about who you heard. With us, Inspections Over Coffee, we have a marketing edge. We have a story to tell. We have packaged everything that we do above and beyond, like thermal scanning the whole house, property history reports, recall reports, being drone licensed, doing marketing on behalf of the realtors. We packaged all this up with all of our materials so that when you sit down, if you're with us instead of with the other people, when you say, hey, I have an inspection company and this is what we do differently and this is how it impacts your business, suddenly they sit up and they go, oh, well, that is different. So what I'll tell you is there's already plenty of home inspectors. There is not plenty of home inspectors that provide everything that we do. That's the big difference. All right, number 5 is too high of a royalty. So the royalty is basically the is the fee that you pay on the revenue that you generate. Now, here's the thing. If you're a big, high revenue business, you should have a low royalty, right? Like I think Taco Bell is something like 3 to 5%. Because at the end of the day, like they're going to do $1 million, $2 million, I don't know, $1.5 million in revenue every single month. So they're paying a fortune, right, towards royalties. The problem is, so the home inspection industry usually averages somewhere between like 8 and 11, maybe 12% as a royalty. Here's the problem. Once you get up and running, the margins are kind of thin. And so in an inspection business, when you have to pay an inspector to go deliver the product. So it's not as thin as say maybe an engineering firm or an insurance company. If you start an insurance agency, you're going to be at like 10% margins. You do $1 million in production, you're going to make $100,000 on that. In the inspection business, even with a team of inspectors, you should be between 25 and 40% margins, depending on how you run your business. And if you have to give up 10, 11, or 12% of that, that is a huge number that really impacts your ability to buy equipment, radon machines, mold pumps, thermal cameras, and then to do marketing. I mean, I'm going to an event later today. It's cost me $700 a month. I can't be paying to a franchise. And by the way, my franchise also pays the franchising company our royalty. So on the royalty, we ended up at 5%. It's enough where let's talk about the royalty for a second. Some people go, here's what happens is people get up in business, it's been a year, they're not really taking advice anymore. They're like, why am I paying this royalty? I know how to do the business. Well, first of all, you wouldn't have had the success without the franchises companies, all of their systems and trainings to get you to the point. So you didn't fail out like you might have if you tried to do it on your own because you've never been in the inspection business. So what the royalty does, if it's done right, is it's kind of like your investment advisor. Your investment advisor charges you 2% and says, hey, listen, we're on the same side of the table now. I don't charge you a commission. Basically, I want your assets to grow because the more they grow, the more the more you pay for my services. So we're on a team. It's like an agent. The agent gets 10% for the athlete, and they're working really hard because they want that 10%. We're the same thing. 5%. We're on the same side of the table. Every new best practice that we give you is going to be you're going to get, because again, we want you to be as successful as possible. So watch out for too high of a royalty. Okay, number 6 is too much left for you to do. And I kind of touched on this earlier, so I apologize if I'm speaking a second time, but if you're writing templates, if you're writing marketing emails, if you're designing shirts with logos, if you're creating flyers and postcards, all these things, that's not what you bought a franchise for. Like, all of that is what's supposed to be done for you. That's the whole point of having a franchise, right? If you're working on the template, that's the wrong stuff. You should just be sending in your thoughts about a template, or go, hey, in my part of the country, this is the thing. And then whoever's in charge of like the master template adds that, and actually it goes to everybody. You should not have to worry about those kinds of things. So the whole like working on your business, like as a business owner, the entrepreneur side, if you buy into a franchise, all of that should be done for you. And you're working on the business should be, basically meeting realtors, getting referral partners, and learning everything you need to learn to deliver, radon and mold and lead paint and all the things beyond home inspection. Okay, I say this one a little bit tongue in cheek, but number 7 is too many stupid events. If you've got an annual convention and a quarterly convention and a monthly convention, and they want you to go to the home inspector expo for this and the home inspector expo for that, let me just tell you, 90% of that stuff is a waste of time. It's just a money grab by all of them. They charge you a couple $100 to get in, they charge the vendors to be there, and you don't need it. It's all just a huge waste of time. A little bit here and there just to get to know people in the industry, that's fine. Going overboard, I hate all the stupid events. Okay, number 8 is not being able to get support from people that are actually doing it. If you're stuck calling the franchisee across town, like, they may not even be doing it as well as they should be. Whereas if you look like at our model, you have me, who's basically grown several multiple 6-figure and 7-figure businesses, and you have other people that are running 7-figure businesses, and you get all of the systems from people that have actually done it. I'm in my 15th month here in Phoenix, and we did 30,000 in revenue in the last month, and the month before that. So if you want to know how to do that, ask the people that have actually done it. You got to remember, like, the franchising company has their own financial and sort of ethical responsibilities to the company. Like, yes, there's certain things you're supposed to do for you, but they have to be careful what advice they give, because 1, they've never done it before, and 2, like, you gotta be, if you give some advice and someone takes it and misinterprets it, and now all of a sudden there's like some legality and potentially liability issues. So everything, the bigger you get, the more watered down things get. You gotta be careful. Okay, number 9 is it kind of ties in with the other ones, but you not getting the systems that will help you create a multiple 6-figure and 7-figure business. What does that mean? Kind of ties into the other things, meaning that, like, if you're left to figure everything out, and there's nowhere to go for advice on like how to have multiple inspectors, how to figure out logistics around how would you handle 7 inspections in one day, how would you get things going over the weekend. If you don't have the systems, if you're only being given the systems that help you start the business, not the systems that are the same as a 7-figure business, you might be missing out on your growth opportunity there. Okay, and number 10, my favorite thing to watch out for in a home inspection franchise is boring marketing. I'm not going to say names, but if you're one of the big ones and it just says like inspection company, price, service, service, price, price, service, and boring vanilla paragraph, boring vanilla paragraph, boring vanilla paragraph, there's nothing compelling. Like, do you want to go out if you go to a real estate office, do you want to have like boring vanilla paragraph with service and pricing, and then not know what to say when it's time to speak in front of people? Because here's what they'll do, and I've seen them all talk. They come in, they go, well, I got called in after this other inspector, and there was this thing and he missed it, and I knew what the story was. Well, guess what? There's probably 1,000 things that he don't know. So if you're marketing with what you know and that's it, that's not very exciting, and it's not great to listen to. Like, the people in the crowd, like, they're bored by that, especially if you're just coming across like a know-it-all. Like, who wants to put that person in front of their client? Whereas with us, what you learn to do is you learn how to take the things that we do and the things we know a lot too, And we converted all of that to what does it mean to the person listening? How is it received by the realtor? How is it received by the buyer? So if we say, we don't say, hey, we run around with thermal cameras. We know how to use them. We're super smart. And look at this. We say, no, no, no. No, we use a thermal camera because it helps you see behind the walls. And that way, when you buy the house, you don't inherit like a water leak or an electrical issue behind the walls unknowingly. So you can imagine that sounds a lot better to the person listening than the person go, well, I got a thermal camera. Look at everything I could do. Like, no offense, like shut up. Like tell me what it means to me. I have a 3-story house where my roof is like 40 feet in the air. If I was looking to get inspected and one inspector says, well, I'm just, right? Okay. And the next person, even if they've only been doing it for 2 months, says, well, actually I'm drone licensed and basically I have a 4K drone and I'll see in real time exactly what your roof looks like because like, nobody expects you to carry around a 40-foot ladder. So the drone solved that problem in time. I'm like, oh, hire that person. So keep that in mind. That's the top 10. Here's the list again. And again, when you're going to make that decision, hopefully I brought up a few things that you might not have thought about, and I'll make your decision around whether a franchise is right, first of all, and then second of all, which franchise is right. And really what you need to do is go, what is the thing that makes me the most successful? And I would argue makes you the most successful the most quickly. Okay, so thanks for listening, and I hope you appreciated the top 10 things to look out for in a home inspection franchise.